Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I appreciate it. We got this stream going. I don't know what it was. It wasn't any technical stuff here. It was YouTube. Maybe I did something wrong there. But we started a funky little stream there on YouTube. We got it going now, I'm pretty sure. Should be singular, uniting the streams all in one. I see y'all rolling in now, so I thank you for that. And thanks to everyone who joined me over the weekend. We sure had fun. What is up, everybody? I got the Christmas swag on. I'm looking American mustache, baby. I'm looking hilarious. I'm thinking I'm looking hilarious, and I'm liking it. I like how silly it looks. I look like I could be in like a cop movie. Maybe like I could play a Mexican. Maybe I should let the unibrow grow out too. Ugly people are funnier. Yeah, I think ugly people are funnier. So I'm having fun. It's made people. It's kind of rubbed people the wrong way too. The stash. Like it's not like a well received, and I think I kind of like it. Joel called a hipster though, and that made me sad. But we're gonna have fun here today on American Anchor, baby. Thank you for tuning in. I got the Christmas swag on. I think you can purchase this on the Teespring over on rebuildingtheman.com/store. Let me do a little double checksies here. Let me do a little triple checksies here. Maybe we are offering it on Teespring. Uh-oh. While I do this little check, I'm having fun with the stash here a little bit. Maybe I'm having an identity crisis. But maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing, huh? Go through the identity crisis. Just, people call that people say it's a bad thing. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. I'm going through an identity crisis, going through an identity, more like an identity overcoming, right on. Yes, you can purchase this Merry Amazing Christmas looking like Mario. Maybe I'm looking like Mario a little bit. Mario Brothers. You could buy this on shop.thefallenstate.creator-spring.com or just go to rebuildingtheman.com/stores. You'll find the Teespring store there and all the amazing Christmas merch getting festive. Mario from the Mario Brothers' last name is Mario. His first name is Mario and his last name is Mario. It's Mario. His brother Luigi, what his last name is? His last name is Mario. Luigi Mario. They're the Mario Brothers. Just so you know. Nick, looking conquistador of you. Never mind, we're back. It's not hipster anymore. It's conquistador. We're back. Anybody watch the Palmetto Bowl? Who likes them? Who likes the college football? What's up with college football? I know football is an institution up in this country, straight up. And I sometimes underestimate that. I majorly underestimate that because even for the college ball, people get crazy. People love it. People love their football. Who watched the Palmetto Bowl? Palmetto Bowl, Clemson University versus the University of South Carolina. Supposed to be basically a big old feud. They have their yearly game. They call it the Palmetto Bowl. The Palmetto Bowl. And it's Clemson versus South Carolina. I don't know why people are so into the college ball, but this feud goes back to 1896. The great country. Was it a great country back then? Was it great? It wasn't great for all of us, they say. When was this country great? When there was racist? When it was slavery? I don't know. 1896 may have been a great year. But they had the Palmetto Bowl. They call it the Palmetto Bowl over the weekend. C's University, okay, so whatever. They had a big old football game, okay? They had a big old football game to this day. And I don't know who won. I don't really care about that. But Donald Trump was there. You know Donald Trump. Donald Trump, our greatest president, showed up at this game and was cheered, or was he booed? It's a big old fight in the media. And everybody's taking their sides. What's president fight? Cheer. Who got cheered most? Who got booed more? Biden or Trump? Who gets cheered more? Biden or Trump? I don't know. Obviously, it's Trump, if you ask me, but I may be a little bit biased. These news companies, though, are biased as well. So-called journalism, right? Donald Trump greeted by loud boos. Not ghosts, but we're talking about the sound people make when they don't like someone. Donald Trump greeted by loud boos at South Carolina football game. No, not the boo that Mario jumps on, but boos. You know, boos. He's apparently met with loud boos, according to Newsweek here. But I'm reading this Newsweek article here, posted November 25th, and they have a video accompanying. They have a video accompanying the thing because they're journalists, right? They're reporting on the news, and the news apparently is that Donald Trump gets greeted by loud boos at South Carolina football game. Like I said, they offer a little bit of video here. We might need a little Nick on this one. What's up, folks? I'm here to show you this here video presented by Newsweek with the headline. Let's remember, Donald Trump greeted by loud boos. These are the news people reporting on the news. Oh, I gotta unmute the computer here. Check it out. We're watching the boos. Let's watch. Hearing cheering, clapping, yelling. I heard maybe one boo. That's yelling and ecstatic. I'm hearing USA chants. USA, USA. USA, cheering, clapping. I'm still waiting for a boo. I might have heard a singular boo at the beginning of this clip. But, wait, hold on. That was a lot of clapping. It said USA, USA. I mean, we're talking about the news here. Journalism, okay? Is that a fair headline? Loud boos. Shouldn't it at least say something like Donald Trump greeted by boos and cheering? A little bit of both. Wouldn't that be at least a little bit more? It would fit the video they themselves put. But that's the news, right? That's the news. Loud boos, they say. I don't know about a fair headline, huh? But okay, there were some boos. I saw videos. There was some booing of the president. I wouldn't say not very intelligent. I mean, all he did was fight for the country. But okay, he got some boos. Okay. If maybe Newsweek is reporting on this, they didn't link to this video. They didn't link to this video or anything. You would think, right? Sources, right? This is the media we're talking about. Where's your source, huh? Can we get a source on that? Well, media, can we get a source on that? And isn't this your job? But okay. There were some boos, right? Maybe they're just reporting on this. Boo. This was outside. I don't know who's out here. Boo. You can't talk to me like that. You can't talk to me like that. You can't talk to me like that. I'm the president. I'm the effing president. Imagine if Donald Trump spoke like that. I'm the effing president. But okay, we're talking about the news. We're talking about the media here. There were some boos. But okay, check this out. This is a video on YouTube from News 19. My apologies there. It's probably loud. News 19 posted this on YouTube with the title. This is the title of a video now. Donald Trump gets cheers, some boos at William Bryce Stadium in South Carolina. Okay, so this is a news company they posted this video on YouTube, and this video is titled, how I just told you, Trump gets cheers and some boos. Okay, check it out. A lot of cheers, roaring cheers. Okay, cheers, steady ovations, clapping, cheer. I'm waiting for a boo, right? Obviously, there were some boos. I just showed you, but this is the news, and this is News 19, and they posted this video. In this particular video, I mean, if I'm supposed to follow the title here, there should be a boo in here somewhere. Where's the boos? Now, this video is 1 minute 44 seconds. You can check it out yourself. Tell me if you find a single boo. I didn't hear it. I couldn't hear it. So what's this company now doing? Are they just afraid? Are they afraid? Well, we got to say there were some boos. We can't just say there were only cheers. What is it? What is it? Because It was mad cheering. Very fast and loose with the facts here. That's what I'm trying to say. The fast and loose with the journalism. This is your journalism. Despite there being ridiculous cheering, from what I could tell. More cheering than booing, that's for sure. And if you were a journalist, even if you dislike Trump, you're a journalist. You would think that you would say the truth. You would at least report the facts. Right? Reporting the facts here. But that's too tall of an order, I think, for the media, because they have an agenda, as I've described on this show, and as we've seen in the years since 2016 and Trump called out the fake news media. That's been their MO since day one. We're talking about cheers here. Well, I can't, you got to bring up Let's Go Brandon, that whole thing, as silly as it is, and it's like, oh, just a bunch of conservatives yelling, "Let's go, Brandon." You totally got the liberals. You got them. The point may be forgotten about the whole point where that even came from, was that there was a huge crowd yelling, "F Joe Biden," and the reporter lady commenting on the story, when it's clearly not what she was hearing, she says, "Wow, the crowd is chanting, let's go Brandon," or "Let's go Biden, let's go Brandon." Really a real true example of the regime media, really just an arm of the government, an arm of the establishment. And so really nowadays, journalism is about hating the truth and bending it for an agenda. Journalists, newspapers, media companies hate the truth. They hate journalism. And I got a clip for you from Fox. This is Fox, okay? The conservative media, Fox, the legacy legend, the institution that is Fox. You know, at one time I would say very confidently, I would say not even that long ago, I would confidently say that Fox News, just like any media company, well, they go along with lies, they go along with fear of being racist and all that. They would still generally at least put out the truth. It's like a sea, an ocean of lying media, and then you got Fox, you got at least something here. And then it's only specific, particular hosts. But even that started flipping very quickly in the years that I was paying attention to politics. In the years that I've been paying attention, Fox has flipped, and now they go after people who are trying to defend free speech. And they team up with all the ism people, racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, ism, whatever. This is a report from Fox News about Elon Musk and the current saga against Media Matters, which itself is part of a larger saga that Elon Musk has embarked on to try and basically save free speech, if that's one way of putting it. Saving free speech. I mean, just reacting to the phrase I just said might be a strange way of putting it, because can one man really save something that us as a people in general, haven't put importance in, have forgotten what it meant, don't care what it means, don't care to pass it on? Can really one man save something that isn't really meant to be saved, that just is? And you can either enjoy your God-given free speech or not. But maybe Elon can be an example. Elon Musk, who bought Twitter, changed it to X.com recently, has gotten a huge amount of hate for that simple mission, to make X.com, not even everything, just X.com. Let's just have one place. You could call it the public square, digital public square. Can we have one place where you can speak a little bit more freely? He's not even all the way super free speech. Names that come to mind, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, they're not allowed on the platform. That being said, it's been quite a change, and I like Elon for it. Elon's being, what looks like to me, attacked on Fox on this Brett Baer report here on the Media Matters saga. If you don't know, basically, Media Matters, Elon Musk has basically opened a lawsuit against Media Matters for what amounts to libel and lying on X.com and the owner, Elon Musk, for claims of anti-Semitism and all that amounted to monetary fiscal damage. Stuff that Elon claims are lies. And for that, there will be legal repercussions. At least Elon's trying that. Here's this report from Fox on this situation with Elon Musk versus Media Matters. And Media Matters is basically another one of these companies that basically go after people, go after people for being racist, for being bigoted, which essentially means they were courageous enough to say something that was factually true, even if it wasn't always the truth or if it was said out of anger. What these companies like Media Matters, the ADL, SPLC, what they do is they try and silence and go after people who had a little courage, and from what I could tell, to say something that was true. Not always, but in many cases. So here's that report from Fox.
Howard Kurtz.
Let me switch my camera here. Boom.
Elon Musk's embrace of an anti-Semitic tweet has triggered a backlash among top corporate advertisers, and now the owner of X has found someone to blame. Musk filed suit yesterday against Media Matters, which often targets Fox News, accusing the liberal advocacy group of an intentionally deceptive report in an effort to drive advertisers from the platform and destroy X Corp, formerly Twitter. Media Matters chief Angela Caruso says the lawsuit is frivolous and Musk is a bully.
He actually confirmed that our reporting was accurate. The platform is so saturated with extremism, with white genocide, with anti-Semitism, with racism, with conspiracy theories, things that otherwise should be managed.
The uproar began when Musk agreed with a random person who tweeted that Jewish communities are pushing hatred of white people. Musk's response, "You've said the actual truth."
Yeah.
While Musk partially backtracked, saying no, he didn't mean all Jewish communities.
Obviously not all, but most, duh.
Renewed his criticism of alleged anti-white racism by the Anti-Defamation League, which he's also threatened to sue.
It's incredibly problematic.
You see this reporting, though? And it's like, great, okay, very cool, like that's what's going on. But also, they add to it. These are your journalists. These are your Fox News conservative journalists. They add to it saying he embraced an anti-Semitic tweet. They say Media Matters, they're just a liberal advocacy group. Dude, they're just a little liberal advocacy group. And journalism eats this stuff up, okay? It's all about groups and interest groups and keeping the right people happy while keeping the right amount of public wrapped around their finger, gobbling it up, eating up their content. But the people are dumb. And the journalism, the breakdown of journalism is everywhere. So-called journalism, so-called news, history, it's everywhere. They call it Marxism. They call it a cultural Marxism even. This breakdown of things, making it worse. Cultural Marxism. In fact, this used to be defined on Wikipedia. Here's a little tidbit. Here's a little tidbit on the death of journalism to really drive this one home. They call it cultural Marxism. And I'm reading you an excerpt from the article on cultural Marxism on Wikipedia. Cultural Marxism, reads here, refers to a school or offshoot of Marxism that conceives of culture as central to the legitimation, that's how it's spelled here, that must be a word, legitimation of oppression, in addition to the economic factors that Karl Marx emphasized. An outgrowth of Western Marxism, especially from the Frankfurt School, this is a Wikipedia article, and finding popularity in 1960s as cultural studies. But folks, here's the problem. I'm reading an old version, an archived version of this very same Wikipedia article. Cultural Marxism. That article on Wikipedia has been changed. It's been changed. I'm reading an archived version of it. If you look up cultural Marxism now, you'll get a Wikipedia article on cultural Marxism conspiracy theory. This is your journalism. This is your updated journalism. This is your post-pandemic, updated 2023 journalism. Yeah, that old definition I read, no. That's a conspiracy theory now. The term cultural Marxism, I'm reading to you this new article, refers to a far-right anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that misrepresents the Frankfurt School. No, they're being misrepresented as being responsible for modern progressive movements. Well, I'm sorry, Wikipedia. They were misrepresented by you. My bad. I was just using what you told me. I didn't know I was being a far-right conspiracy theorist. That's my bad. Thank you for updating that. So, you see how it goes? You see how it goes? This is your journalism. You can't, trust your lying eyes. You can't go along with facts. You got to go with something a little bit more real and personal. So pay attention to your own life and see if you're just talking intellectual mess and long-winded nothing. It has to be real and personal. Okay? Because literal Googles aren't helping. Literal images are fake. Literal videos are now faked. We got AI, folks. And who is AI fooling? Who is Google fooling? The foolish masses. The people are retarded, as this Indian man once said on YouTube. Not me. Don't get mad at me, YouTube. I didn't say that. Maybe if I say it with that accent, you can't really get caught by the AI censors. I'm talking about music, retardando. You know what retardando means? It's a musical term. It's a musical term, means to play very slowly, very slowly. You know what I'm talking about? Slow. So that's what we're going to call these people, retardando. And the people are retardando, very slow. Let me show you what I mean. How easily. The masses, we're talking about Black Friday. They say there were sales over the weekend. And even today, they call it Cyber Monday. Make sure you get your money out. Make sure you spend, because you're not going to get a deal like this until a whole year from now, folks. Make sure you do it. Make sure you do it. Get your money out. You need these things. All these things, you need them.
Oh, it's the same.
Wait a second.
Okay, what about this one?
I thought it was a sale. Okay, well, hold on. Surely this TV is on sale on Target, right? Oh. Wait, you're telling me the Black Friday sale, they just slapped that with the same exact price on top of the Target? Is that what's going on here?
It's the same.
Black Friday deal?
Oh.
That's a deal?
Oh. Hold on. This is surely a deal, right? $3.29 up. This too is on sale, so-called Black Friday sale, which is supposedly different from the sale it was on before. Now, okay, maybe I'm being nitpicky here. Maybe Target already had it on sale. This truly is a sale price, but they just had to bust out the Black Friday sale little tags, to stay on theme. Right?
But it's the same.
Or is it all just a big old joke? I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was always like this. To be fair, I feel like it's increasingly a scam, and if you're just looking at the word sale, you're gonna get hypnotized and you're just gonna spend a bunch of money. But I think it used to actually be sales. What I'm trying to say is that this whole sale culture, it came from like a pretty cool thing. Like it just used to be a game that retailers, and these retailers weren't always big box retailers. It was shops owned by citizens that were local. It was a little bit more local. And everybody, you just get in on the sale game. It's a game, and you make money, and why wouldn't you want to play? And people kind of would get, every now and then would maybe get good deals. But now it's like now it's just a word that hypnotizes people. And the meaning of the word is gone. It used to mean to get something for a better price that you usually wouldn't. Words don't really mean what they used to mean. Huh. And the people are retardando. The people are retardando. I'm seeing Canada. Canada is they're selling the insect food, the insect meat. You're going to eat the bugs, folks. The people are going to eat they're going to eat the bugs. Canada begins replacing meat with insects. It's happening. They said it was going to happen. The thing is this has to happen. You know this has to happen, right? Insect meat will do for population boom what salt and sugar did. Look, insect meat is going to be like one of these mass population paradigms. It could be. Who knows what the future really holds and how technology really changes. But insect meat, as gross as it may sound, I'm not saying I want to eat it. The messed up part of the whole insect thing is that people with money are not going to eat the bugs. That being said, how are we going to support the millions, the billions of groveling, bottom-feeding laboring class that's going to hold up the Excelsiorite future elite class that will live in the space domes that these advanced companies are going to put out there for the future classes? How are you going to feed the masses? You got to get the bugs. So get yourself right and attempt to carve out some wealth for you and your generations so that they don't have to eat the bug meat of the future groveling labor class. It's just how it's going to go, folks. I mean, you want a utopia, but most people aren't there. You want a utopia, but the masses are retardando, okay? If you want a utopia, you're going to have to go and break off and be utopian people. You got to make sure you're all utopian type people or something here. Because, look, the people are retardando, okay? And I really want to talk about something here. Speaking about retardando and the people, I want to get to really my main thing here from today is the Irish people and this big old fight that's going on. And I got a question for y'all. Or I don't know if it's really a question. It's more of a phrase that you can reflect on. Are they fighting for their lives, or are these the death throes of the white civilization? Nasty stuff. It doesn't have to be that way. We're going to get into it here. But first, I want to thank the Super Chats and get to a call here because you guys are supporting me, and I thank you. John Zimmer, appreciate that big time. Nice big old Super Chat there. Says, it's an amazing Monday. Let's go, Brandon. You rock. Thank you. And everybody supported me on Rumble. I see my Rumble supporter there, being enlightened till I rise. I see all the diamonds and the ice creams on dlive.tv/Gorgonzola. That's rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. And of course, here on YouTube. Thank you, everybody. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. It helps. You don't always have to help monetarily. Leaving a like, a comment, and all that definitely helps. Do it for the algorithm. Thank you, everyone. We had a great show over the weekend. It was chill. It wasn't a flight. We'll do a flight this Friday, but we didn't really fly. It was relaxed. We did our thing over the weekend. Some of you talking about some of the things we talked about. Yes, the demonic code. Did you know that our callers are bots? Check out Friday's show for that one. You guys are saying all sorts of things in the chat I want to respond to, but we got to keep the show on the roll, as they say. We got Mark, Los Angeles, California. You're on the air, sir. Thank you for your call.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. Wanted to start off by saying that as far as I know, outside of the Arab countries, the only two white countries that are refusing to take immigrants, especially Muslims, are Hungary with Orbán, who I love, and Poland. Those two countries are sitting back, laughing at Western Europe and the United States for taking this human garbage in our borders. And I'm not just talking about the Muslims.
Well, I'm glad you still called them human, though.
Yeah,
you may see them as garbage, and that's how you see them. But as long as good thing you still said they were human, though, and I'm sure YouTube thanks you for that as well. I know I do.
Thank you
for my channel.
Yeah, I know. I got to watch it. But,
no problem, Mark. But you're talking about what's going on here. You're saying Hungary and Poland have not taken. They refuse to take in these refugees, as they call them.
Yeah, they won't take in any Muslims, particularly,
right on,
or any third world people, which is a good thing. I mean, that's a good thing. And they're sitting back laughing, again, at Western Europe and the U.S. on, the stupidity of what we're allowing to happen. Now, I don't want what's happening to happen, but we're being ignored. I just talked to an Irishman last week about this thing that happened in Ireland, and he just got here from over there, and he told me that the government just ignores the people, similar to what they're doing here. No matter how much we protest, no matter what we do to stop this invasion, they're ignoring us because they want this to happen. So in 20 years from now, the white race will be a minority. This is their goal, and genocide is the ultimate punishment for the white race by these demons, human demons. And that's what this whole thing is leading up to. The elitists, the globalists, the only thing that stands in their way from running this world are the fact that there's too many middle-class white Americans left and European middle class. They want to destroy the middle class, destroy our economy, and take over. We eat bugs. They eat the good stuff, and we got to live with the criminals who have invaded our countries. And that's what's happening here. And even the northern border now of Canada is seeing an influx of illegals. God only knows where they come from. I would imagine they're Muslims, though, because Canada
I would say so as well.
Full of them.
They are.
I mean, Canada's loaded with them. And
they really are. People don't really understand just how shocking what you're talking about is, especially in Canada. I know that immigration here has been a mess in America as well, and it's changed the country. But I'm in Canada. I grew up in a city called Mississauga, a little bit there, and I came to LA in 2019. I went to visit just a few years later. I must have been just a year ago, 2022. I went to visit. Shocking, going through that mall in Mississauga. It was like packed with foreigners. I did not recognize it. It was truly shocking.
Well, that's Trudeau. Trudeau, Castro's son, he's instrumental in trying to destroy Canada.
Castro's son.
Well, he looks like it. I can't prove
he does look like him. I'll say that.
And his
in some of
mother,
these pictures that I see online.
Sure. Trudeau's mother was known to be kind of a loose
woman. She talked about that openly. She wrote a whole book about that. About how she basically had an affair on her husband and during his term, and it all came out. It was a big old scandal while he was prime minister. It was quite a mess.
Did she admit that she made a child with Castro?
No, I don't think she ever. I don't think that's an admitted thing or ever said thing. I don't think so.
Who is Trudeau's father? He's got one.
Pierre Trudeau.
Well, allegedly,
right? Well, no. The alleged part is the Castro part. But yeah, okay, I'm following you.
Yeah, so I mean, Canada's doomed. They do have a man up there. I can't pronounce his name. Pierre Boulevard or something like that. And he's pretty good. He's a Trumpian type guy, and I like him. And we also had a victory in Argentina. The right did, and we also had a victory in the Netherlands. So hopefully this is going to be a rollout for Trump to win in this country. And I know I'm not going to try to get your channel in trouble, but if it's not rigged, this election in 24, I think Trump will win. I
think we're seeing
minus a rigged eletion. And,
as much as the media headlines or whatever attack and smear we might see, I can't help but see common average people go nothing but love for the guy.
Yeah, did you see him at the ball game the other night?
I did. In fact, I talked about it at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, did you see the headlines, the fake news?
Liars.
Yes. Trying to say that Trump was booed.
Liars.
My God. Yeah, stupid people will believe that nonsense. And, I got to ask you, have you heard about the shooter that killed 3 Palestinians in, somewhere back east?
No.
I don't know where it was. But some white man, it showed his picture, killed 3 Palestinians.
Burlington, Vermont. What a mess.
Yeah,
Man.
Vermont, right.
And they got this white guy's face plastered everywhere. I'm seeing it now as soon as I search it. Look, Real quick here, Mark. Man, I'm gonna say what you wanted to say about that.
No, I think that they're going to put this guy under the jail. They're going to make him into be another Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin should be free.
Yes.
He should be celebrated as a hero. But they wouldn't even hear his case in the Supreme Court. And there's evidence that the jury was tampered with. I don't mean to change subjects, but I know this guy in Vermont is going to get the Chauvin treatment. Even if he's found not guilty, they'll find a way to throw him in jail.
Oh,
like
so it's possible that it wasn't like because just the headlines, you just do a cursory search. My thoughts are this man killed like these 3 Palestinians. Like, are you saying it might be self-defense or justified in any way? Because what Derek Chauvin did, it's clear that it wasn't murder, it was unintentional, and they came down on him. He's a total political prisoner and all that. That's clear. Are you saying that this shooting here in Vermont may be justified or something?
Well, I don't know. I can't say I don't know enough about it. But
if it wasn't, the point is, it's like they're going to use this. This is why it's so important to overcome anger. They're going to eventually people are going to find out or go crazy in the wrong way, or this was totally insane, and they're just going to use this white man and then attack white people in general. Yeah. It's like it's crazy. It's a crazy ask, but white people have to be perfect, and it's a mess.
You know,
right now.
I don't know what news you watch on TV, but they talked about the Chauvin case, and they said that the DA in Minneapolis didn't even want to press charges because they knew he wasn't guilty, and the jury didn't want to convict. However, they were under tremendous pressure because of the rioting that was going on at the time the trial took place. But you have an Antifa supporting attorney general there in Minnesota that went like he was out for blood.
Keith
and coordinating with the rioters, they got a guilty verdict on Chauvin. But what really disappoints me in this case is that the U.S. Supreme Court wouldn't hear the evidence. They wouldn't. They refused to hear it. Now he's got another long shot appeal in his case, but they gave him 20 years for murder and 21 years for violating his civil rights. So that's double jeopardy, and they're going to probably give that guy in Vermont the death penalty. You know, probably.
And he very well might deserve it, but the point is, it's like they're going to use this to be even harder on white people and people who care about America, and just lampoon and smear everyone because it's all an agenda. They don't really care about Palestinians dying from this guy, and they'll use it to go after guns and stuff. Last thing here, Mark, I want to ask you, Irish people, the Dublin riots, all this going on, do you see these riots in Dublin? How do you see them? Do you see them as positive? Just your quick take on that.
I think of them as positive. Absolutely. When that clown president of Ireland comes out and attacks the people who are protesting the murder of those 3 kids in Ireland, when he makes them the focus of his investigations and whatnot, you know they're doing something right. Talking about the protesters. And that fighter, what's his name?
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, he's even being, they're going after him.
It's crazy, man. Listen, Mark, okay, I got a little segment here I'm about to get into about this, Ireland. And if you got the time, I'm going to spend some time on this after I'm going to let you go here. But if you got the time, check it out. Stay tuned. I want to say something about this whole Irish thing. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think these riots, though, may be evil. I want you to hear it and tell me what you think. Maybe call me in one of these days and tell me what you think about it.
I will. Am I allowed to call back today or not?
Let's leave it for another day since you already called in.
Okay,
but if you got the time, I invite you to check out this following segment I'll spend some time on and tell me what you think, because you might not, you might be surprised on the take. But I definitely understand what you're saying here. I'm with the white people because it's an injustice what's being done to them. Not
absolutely.
So, and I
absolutely.
just whether it's an injustice, is an injustice. So
But you know the thing. I'll let you go here in a minute. Let me just say this. I saw this coming in the '60s. I'm an old man, and I've lived through the '60s, and I saw this nightmare coming. I really did. We, the white race, we tried to stop it. We did everything we could. Pardon?
How? If you could.
How? By electing George. Well, one of the things we did in the 60s, we tried to get George Wallace elected. My first choice was Commander Rockwell, Lincoln Rockwell, but he was killed. But we saw the writing on the wall, but we had to fight the court. We had to fight rhino politicians and liberals. And and then all the media hates whites.
Wow.
So everything, I've been in this fight for 50 years, and I don't see any hope. I see it the light getting dimmer and dimmer as time goes on. And the farther back you go in American history, the safer it was for the white people to walk the streets in America. In 1900, a white woman could walk down any street in America. Not today. That's what your civil rights
wrong. That is so wrong.
Oh, of course. That's what your civil rights bills have done.
Well, Mark, because of what you just said, in fact, I invite you even stronger to check out this following segment. I want to hear from you because you've been fighting for so long, and it's an injustice, man. I think all that fighting is interesting, man. I want to talk about it. Last thing you want to say before we move the wheels?
I just was going to say, before the white man wins this thing, if he's destined to, or if we lose, I probably won't be alive to see it. But I pray every night for the white race. I pray for Derek Chauvin. I pray for the McMichaels brothers. And I pray for the January 6th political prisoners. Those are the people we should all, in your audience, to think about to pray for, because they are political prisoners. Every one of the aforementioned people. And President Trump, although he's not in jail, they're trying. They're trying. I don't think he'll go to jail, President Trump. I think if he's convicted of any of this nonsense, I think they'll put him on house arrest down in Mar-a-Lago, which will make it. I don't know if he'll still be able to run for president, but I personally don't think they'll put him in a jail cell.
I don't think so either. As this case has unfolded, it seems like very trumped up, if I may use that term. That's just me as a layman, and I've also seen some pretty smart people, lawyer types, say that the whole thing just stinks. And
well, what's the kangaroo court in New York? With Enderon, this fool of a judge,
and Letitia.
I mean,
Letitia James.
Letitia James. It's a kangaroo court.
Mark,
really
I appreciate your call big time. Call me again.
I will. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. 888-775-3773. I didn't say the number to call in, but I want to talk about what Mark is talking about here. The Irish people, the white people of the world, are they fighting for their lives, or are these death throes of a once great civilization? I'm talking about this story in Dublin, Ireland, this stabbing. As you know, there's been riots in the city of Dublin, in Ireland. Violent clashes erupt in Dublin after stabbing of 5 people. You read the articles, they say police blame far-right ideology. They call it far-right clashes. These protesters who took to the streets of Dublin and set cars on fire and smashed up many things. It was a good old riot day, It's a good old riot. Not unlike some riots we're aware of. Irish police said they arrested 34 people after the riots. Speaking during a press conference, Garda, that's what the police are called in Ireland, the Garda. Commissioner Drew Harris said police could not have anticipated that the stabbings would have triggered such disorder. And this CNN article goes on to describe the violent scenes with the police and the fire and all that. But in this whole article, they don't really talk about why they were out there. They mention a stabbing. And what happened is there was a stabbing. There was a stabbing of some children. 3 children and a school care assistant were injured in this knife attack. This knife just flew through the air and attacked. This knife was attacking people. It was crazy. It just animated itself. This 6-year-old girl with head injuries, a boy, and a boy 5 years old were discharged on Friday. This another 5-year-old girl remains in critical condition along with a teaching assistant in her 30s. This whole article from the BBC, if you read it, also quite leaves out, interestingly, the stabbing itself. Who did it and why? When asked why, police are quick to say, well, it's not terrorism. They don't think it's terrorism. It wasn't terrorism. At this stage, detectives have still not established any link between the suspect and the school he attacked, but it is not considered to be terrorism. Information has come to the Garda that the suspect was highly agitated in recent days about an issue that had nothing to do with the school. The grievance is the suspected motivation for the stabbing attack. Now, why were they saying it's not a terrorism attack? Because people, they are calling them far right, are being quick to say this is a terrorist attack from a Muslim migrant. But why? That's all interestingly left out of these articles, CNN, BBC. You don't get the identity of who did the stabbing. You don't get that he's an Algerian immigrant. More on that in a moment. So riots in Dublin, you've seen the images. The clashes came after a man in his 50s, finally an article with some information. A man in his 50s was detained by police after he allegedly stabbed several people, including the girl who was receiving emergency treatment. Police have not revealed the nationality of the suspect, we now know. The incident took place in Parnell Square in the city center. But he's a citizen. You racist, far-right agitators, don't you know he's an Irishman? He's an Irishman. If you look up the article from the Sunday Times, they write here, the chief suspect in the stabbings that led to the riots was once the subject of a deportation order. Imagine that. This immigrant person was once the subject of a deportation order. The Sunday Times has learned that the man, originally from Algeria and in his 50s, was arrested in 2003. However, after judicial review in the High Court, his deportation order was revoked. Sources said in 2008 the Department of Justice granted the man leave to stay in Ireland. One said he was due to be deported 20 years ago, but fought the order for 5 years. He eventually obtained an Irish passport. He is a naturalized Irish citizen. That's from the Sunday Times. That's who he is, folks. He's an Irishman. He's a citizen. This is how citizens act. That's not very citizen of him. That's not very citizen of him. What's required of an Irish citizen? Wait a second. What's required? What does citizen mean? Doesn't that mean you're part of something grander than yourself? Shouldn't you care for that thing that's bigger than you as the individual? You're a citizen of a nation. I guess citizen means nothing, really. I guess the word citizen actually means nothing. And it's really just a designation for tax purposes. Let's be real. And this is adds to the point I made earlier. Words don't really mean anything. Cheering and booing, cultural Marxism. Citizen, the word citizen doesn't mean anything other than a tax designation. That's all it is. Maybe this points a little bit to the reasoning behind what happened in Ireland, how it even got to this point. I know people have been saying they've been fighting for a long time, but how did this get to this point? With all this fighting, you'd think it wouldn't get to this point, but yet it has. So citizen, the word citizen means nothing. That's clear now. And let me show you what some of these people who came into Ireland, how they feel and think. This one TikTok's going viral. A masked individual going by Canon Irie on TikTok. This video is going viral of what looks to be not a very Irish person, but hey, maybe this is a born and raised, tried and true Irish person. Maybe I'm just judging. Doesn't look very Irish. I don't know if he even speaks very Irish, in my opinion, but what do I know? I'm not too educated on this. You let me know what you think. But this TikTok's going viral with the caption, "Don't let them stop you from winning." This young black individual, looks like a black individual, with not a very Irish accent, speaks on the conflict and what's going on. Let's watch. if Elon Musk would let me. That is, Elon Musk trying to sabotage the show again.
And they are going to be a part of this country, and they will contribute to this country peacefully like everybody else. We are not moving, we are not leaving, we are not afraid of you. You keep attacking the international community, you know what's going to happen. Everybody is going to come down on you like a ton of bricks for attacking every country or every freaking nationality that comes to this country of Ireland. This beautiful island that you people decided to try and destroy because you don't like different people, because you are idiots and you are trying to be heroes, which you are not. You will never be included in the history books as any form of heroes. You'd be in the history books as pariahs and destructive people in society and racist people. And I cannot wait for the next generation of this country to grow up and laugh at the activities that you caused this week in Dublin City. You are a disgrace. This is a beautiful country. Dublin is a beautiful city that did not deserve what happened over them poor children that are in the hospital that you did not decide to go and light a single candle for. Instead, you decide to light up Garda cars, buses, Lewises, which you need to go and transport yourself to work. Well, I don't even think you'd work, because if you did, you wouldn't be setting no Lewis or buses on fire, would you now? Because you'd have a problem going to work, wouldn't you now? So you motherfuckers are going to leave this country. So help us, the international community will not accept you backwards thinking, low-life, scum of the earth, mofos in this country anymore. We are not tolerating racism. This generation of black people in this world is not tolerating racism from any of ye. It is not happening.
Is that an Irishman? Is that an Irish person? What's going on? Am I getting, that sounds like someone that he almost sounds like he's from like Toronto. Yo, Batiman, your shirty was sweet up from the feet up, man. He sounds like he's from Toronto. Where's this guy from? Is that an Irishman? A black Irish person? Sounds like a hater, that's for sure. And this is the crazy part. I mean, everything he's saying is nothing. All he's doing is basically gloating that he's got big, powerful, evil friends. That's what this person is doing. If I'm to believe this is some kind of Irish migrant, it's hard to understand here. I don't think it's an Irish person. If it was born and raised, well, guess what, Ireland, you're raising a bunch of revolutionaries who hate you. So he's using words like international community, like total communist. And who taught him that word? Who taught him to say that? International community. You're basically gloating that you have big evil friends. And he's saying, everyone's coming to attack you, backwards Irish people. And we're coming down on you like a ton of bricks. Wow, very loving. These are the loving refugee migrant people, Ireland. Oh, it's beautiful. A beautiful country that you people are destroying. You mean Irish people? Is that who you mean by you people? You're being idiots. You're being idiots in the history books. You'll be nothing but a generation of pariahs, he says. So you're basically gloating that you got all the evil history book writers on your side. So let me tell you something, buddy. They're just using you. You're just a pawn, okay? They don't really care about you, and you're out here saying, you didn't light one candle for the children. Stop pretending like you care, okay? Everyone's just using the children for their agenda. Oh, let me show you a decap. No, baby fight. Oh, yeah, my baby. Oh, yeah, you got a decapitated baby? Well, I got a super rare holographic charred baby that's been burned to a barbecue brisket, okay? And I got that as a super rare holographic decapitated baby. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, you see what I'm saying here? Everyone's using it. It's all a lie. And they're saying Dublin did not deserve what happened. Well, Dublin doesn't deserve. If you want to use that word, more on that word in a moment. But what's happening in Dublin is worse than this this riot, okay? It's been happening to Dublin. So destruction of Dublin has been happening, buddy. And here's the problem with what's going on, because the Irish Prime Minister here, Leo Varadkar, is essentially siding with that guy. This is who the Irish government is siding with. I just showed you who they're siding with. Let me show you the Prime Minister of Ireland doing just that.
I think it's now very
talking about updating their hate speech laws, basically saying, yeah, we don't have strong enough hate speech laws to basically, silence the speech of Irish people.
obvious to anyone who might have doubted it that our incitement hatred legislation is just not up to date. It's not up to date for the social media age. And we need that legislation through, and we need it through within a matter of weeks, because it's not just the platforms who have a responsibility here, and they do. There's also the individuals who post messages and images online that stir up hatred and violence, and we need to be able to use laws to go after them individually as well.
You got to understand, that's the Prime Minister of Ireland. Basically saying this in the wake, in the response to the riots in Dublin. So people are rioting. They're mad that these people are coming into the country and stabbing up their children. And they're mad. They're out there saying, no more. You guys don't even listen. This has been a long time coming. And the Irish Prime Minister says, you know what we got to do? We need to push through hate speech legislation because these social media companies, we're just not ready to handle all this free speech. There's just way too much people speaking freely. We're not equipped to handle this. So we need to get this legislation pushed through. And this is like an Indian guy, I'm pretty sure. Leo Varadkar has like an Indian one. He's like half Indian.
All legislation.
So is that how you make Doug Emhoff's? I guess this is how you make Doug Emhoff's. If you want to know the recipe, it's apparently white and Indian. I'm talking about Kamala Harris's husband. Now, I don't know if Doug Emhoff is a half Indian man, but Leo Varadkar looks just like him. I guess that's how you make yourself a little Doug Emhoff, huh? But this has been they say it's been a long time coming, okay? That these people took to the streets. And I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner. Well, guess what else has been a long time coming? Those hate speech laws that Prime Minister was just talking about. Well, these are your members of, I don't know what you call them in Ireland, but these are your what essentially equivalent to Congress people, your members of Parliament, whatever you call them over there in Ireland. This is how they were talking just 2 years ago.
When you think about it, all law, all legislation is about the restriction of freedom. That's exactly what we're doing here, is we are restricting freedom.
This woman is talking about a bill they were trying to pass, incitement to violence or hatred and hate offenses.
But we're doing it for the common good. You will see throughout our Constitution, yes, you have rights, but they are restricted for the common good. Everything needs to be balanced. And if your views on other people's identities go to make their lives unsafe, insecure, and cause them such deep discomfort that they cannot live in peace, then I believe that it is our job as legislators to restrict those freedoms for the common good.
It's for the common good. It's for the common good. It's for the common good, they say. You heard this before. Kind of some of that pandemic talk. It's for the common good. You don't need rights. She's saying in plain English, yes, we're taking away your rights, dummy. And you should be okay with that because that's what this is. We're in control and you listen and we're doing things for you. It's totally backwards on how Western, let's call it democracy. Let's call it Western republics are supposed to be. A government by the people, for the people. No. It's for the common good. But where were the Irish people when they were saying this? Now, maybe they were rioting. Maybe they were protesting. But it doesn't seem to have fixed it. It seems to have only gotten worse. And you got to understand just how crazy this is. This is major when you really think about it. This is a major Western nation. A major Western nation. And they're basically using their police, the Garda, the Irish police, to investigate people like Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor made some tweets. He was just tweeting online. He disagreed with what's going on. Is supportive of the Dublin riots, is supportive of what they call the far right. because he too is sick of what's going on to his country, what's happening to his country. Irish MMA superstar Conor McGregor is now the subject of an ongoing investigation by Ireland's National Police. The police are investigating him. You got to understand, this is major. The police of a major Western nation are going after Conor McGregor for tweeting about this disagreement. He said in the tweet, innocent children are being ruthlessly stabbed by mentally deranged non-national in Dublin. He didn't even go that hard. He's saying just a non-national. And for this, he's being investigated by the police. It's major. And so I showed you this woman in Ireland. I showed you the prime minister. And I understand they're out there fighting because these Algerians, these migrants, these refugees, these illegals, they're here stabbing our people. But where were the Irish people when that woman was talking? Because there's a general notion I'm getting, and we got a little bit from our caller there, Mark, saying, you heard him, he's been fighting this for 50 years, he says. Many are saying the Irish people are finally fighting back, they say. I'm seeing that a lot. They're saying, right on, Ireland. It's finally time to show them what's what. They won't listen any other way, blah, blah, blah. Some are saying the riots in Dublin are not unlike the BLM riots. In fact, you can see this tweet here, or this post on X.com from an account that's pretty popular, known for defending white people, 9mm SMG on Twitter or on X.com. Here's a little tweet that I think exemplifies how a lot of people are feeling, or demonstrates, or whatever word I'm supposed to use there. Here's the tweet. Here's the X.com post. You can say what you want about the tactics of the Irish fighting back. Oh no, it's Black Lives Matter. What you fail to realize is it's effective. If BLM wasn't comprised of room temperature IQs, they could have rode that revolution to the top of the state. Now the Europeans are doing it, and white men topple kingdoms. Watching your nation that you built entirely be destroyed by savages will have you destroy it yourself. You know you can rebuild. God bless Europe. Anybody relate to that? He's basically saying this is good. Right on. They're finally fighting back. And you know what? We're going to burn it to the ground. And you know what? It's fine because it's the European, it's the white people who build it anyways. They'll build it back. And watching these savages and do all this, it's time to go Black Lives Matter on them. And that makes sense to a lot of people. That makes sense to a lot of people. But I got to say, I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it's very smart. I know you think it's time to fight back in this way. But what you don't understand is that that's not what white people do. That's not civilized. White people are civilized. The civilized thing to do is to kick these people out and bring in order. The civilized thing to do is to see that this was going on, see the writing on the wall, and come together and do it the right way. But the people aren't civilized. Your own neighbors aren't civilized. These are your neighbors. Let me show you your neighbors. I want to show you your neighbors, at least the neighbors of the Irish people. Oh, man. Where's the article? Here it is. Rally to support migrants day after the Dublin riot. And who showed up to this rally to support migrants, so-called migrants? White people, Irish people. That's who showed up to this rally to support these influx of invaders who are stabbing your children. The Irish people's children are getting stabbed by invaders. They're getting stabbed and raped by invaders. And this is what white Irish people did. They took to the streets to defend them. You see what's going on here, folks? The people are retardando. And all you're fighting your own people. It's a civil war.
As the trade union movement on the island of Ireland, we thought it was important that we created the space for people who live in Dublin, who work in Dublin, to come together symbolically to show solidarity for the workers who were in harm's way last Thursday night. Parts of our public service and parts of our private sector
seeing
fall
this?
apart without our migrants. People
Your
should
own
remember
neighbors aren't
migrants are adding a
civilized.
richness.
White people are not civilized anymore. The civilized thing to do would be to realize the problem, the mistake, and be like, you know what? You got to go. Nope, you got to go. We have our police here. They're going to escort you out of this country. You have been deemed a criminal, and you got to go. That's the civilized thing to do. Nope. But what Irish people are doing is they've become what they hate. And as you can clearly see, it's not working. The Irish Prime Minister is not listening to the riots. No, they're calling you far right, and they're using it as a reason to now enact hate speech laws. They're not saying Conor McGregor is making sense here and he's defending his Irish people. No, Conor McGregor is a racist that needs to be investigated by the Irish police. So it's not working. I know you think I'm waking people up. But I think fighting back in this way is a huge mistake because you don't even realize what you're fighting. You think you're fighting the government. You think you're fighting these forces. And it's true in some parts. That is somewhat true. But fighting those, for example, let's say you want to fight the government. You got to realize your government has been infiltrated. It's been infiltrated by enemies, both foreign and domestic. And so how do you fix that? Either you burn it down, which is not fixing it, that's just burning it down, or you infiltrate it yourself. You get in there and you fix and love your country. You see what I'm saying here? Because your neighbors, that's who you're fighting. You're fighting your own neighbors out there saying refugees welcome. And then you're going to say, well, we have foreign influences and we have evil people in the government, and I've been out here fighting 50 years. But did you join the government? Here's my point. Because I'm going back in recent history, and I seem to only find bad examples of fighting back. January 6th. I think only bad things came out of that. The trucker protests and the lockdown protests. Look at Canada. What got fixed? Abortion. The Civil War. The Civil War. Oh, we united the nation. The union was kept whole. Yeah, we're so whole. Civil rights. The world wars themselves. The world wars were supposed to be wars to end all wars. All this fighting back has only ever brought bad things from it, I can tell. And so here's my conclusion. Here's what I realized. It seems to me like the real thing is going to work. Meaning you got to go into the government. You got to go into the academia. You got to really become of a sound mind. You got to actually really become competent. You actually have to really truly discover Christianity. Everything other than that's not going to work. You got to actually care about your neighborhood. You actually got to get involved. You actually got to care about your home and what's going on in it. You got to keep your eyes on the prize, freedom. Because you don't just deserve the kingdom. It's an injustice what's happening to white people. Absolutely. It's an absolute injustice. But you don't just deserve your nation. You don't just deserve to have high birth rates. You don't just deserve that. The people who came before you were people with conviction that created these Christian nations. So you don't just deserve it. They fought for that. Statues getting torn down. You don't just deserve for it to not happen to you. It's an injustice, and I'm on your side here, but that's just the way of the world. And there is a specter that white people have to face. And things are not going to get better until they do. Things are not going to get better for them until they do. The same goes for all people. And the evidence of this specter is fear. For example, here's one example. Fear of dealing with black people and telling them the truth. Underneath all those layers of that specter, of that fear, lies the answer as to how things got to the way how things became the way they are. Somewhere along the way, words like citizen don't mean anything anymore. You see what I'm saying here? And I understand that people like Mark and people are saying they've been fighting for 50 years. And I'm not trying to say here specifically what Mark in particular could have or didn't do. I don't know what happened. Maybe he did try and join government. But I mean in general. Do you see what I'm saying here? Generally speaking, what's happening is almost deserved. And you got to really discover the real thing. Like I said, really, really be about it. Really be about a sound mind. Really be about Christianity. Really be about, okay, well, we need to fix the government. Because the only other answer is to burn it down. And here's a mistake that someone like 9mm SMG on Twitter is making. They're saying, we'll just build it back up. We're the Europeans who built it in the first place. No. If you've been listening to what I'm saying here, it's clear to me that the people who built this place were the men of conviction that I'm talking about. These people are not. So they're not gonna build back what they think they're gonna build back. So I suggest it's time to get over all that. Mark from California, it's time to overcome this white thing and just be about the right thing. And you will see that you will defend whites in the right way. It's not like you're gonna give up on them, but you will give up on this fight that you've been fighting for 50 years that isn't working. You will at least give that up. And you don't have to be all into that fight that's not working. It's just not working. And you may disagree. Now, I think Mark is a Christian, though. But it's time to really discover that for yourself, because the government isn't watching out for you and your salvation and your well-being and whatever you want to call it. They're not out here. You've joined this group and you call it white, but they're not out here caring about your heart and have you overcome anger and are you like saved? I know it's like you're white brothers, we're white brothers, but let's be real. There's no one who cares about that part of you. So it's time to break apart from friends and whites and all these people and discover that for real, for yourself, and be an individual. That way you can really protect what matters. Do you see about the point I'm making here? All these people that you've tied yourself up with don't care about you. They're not out here, really wanting you to overcome anger or something like that. They're worried about themselves. So you've teamed up with the wrong things, and I'm talking of whites and people in general. You know if I'm talking about you. Kind of getting lost here, but you see my point? You just don't deserve all that. And so it's time to overcome all that. It's time to overcome all that because it's not working. So, white's fighting back, but it's not working. Not in this way. You see? It just seems to get worse. So, just a little thing. This is what I'm thinking about, okay? Just something I've been thinking about. Just a little something I've been thinking about. I know you can't take me seriously because I got my devil costume on. I do kind of look like a little Diablo costume, like for Halloween. But if you all listen to me, can you see the ridiculousness in this? White people, stop this. What is this? Is this an Irish person that we're about to watch? Is this possibly the reason why the country is the way it is?
Oh, there's a plane crashed in Tanzania. God, blimey. Into the lake.
This is if this guy's a comedian, he's an absolute genius. It's like this. It's like Michael Scott, the character of Michael Scott in The Office. It's like just perfectly written. It's just a unique person, but it feels like everybody knows who that person is. Everybody has one like that. Everyone has someone in their lives like that. This character is perfect, if it's a character at all. Just feeling himself too hard, white guy on online. He's apparently 43, reacting to some news. Apparently, someone on his chat. He's live on TikTok. He's just just feeling himself. Is this the feeling myself stream where I just play music and I just pantomime things where I look like a swagged out individual? I don't understand what's going on here. Like this is just a fascinating character study for me. And maybe the reasoning, maybe an insight as to what's going on in those countries. Look at this. This is a grown man.
Look at me.
This is a grown man. That's a character that's hilarious because he hit every part of that perfectly. Like just feeling himself too hard in the song, doing this face. Like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm being humble about it. What face is that? That face. The face for me is it's yeah, I'm feeling myself, but I'm also kind of being humble about it. Oh, don't look at me. I'm just don't look at me that strongly, but I know you want to look. Like if that's a comedian, he's got that down perfectly. But if he's not, it's over for the UK. I'm just telling you the truth here, folks. I'm just trying to tell you what's up. Okay? If you don't got that kind of style, then you'll never understand. Look. It's just look. Either that man is a genius or it's over for the UK. Okay? There's only two conclusions after that video. There's only two paths, only two conclusions after that. Thank you for the super chats. Carver says, hair looks like devil horns, especially with shirt and goatee. I'm looking like El Diablo. John Zimmerman, thank you for that super chat earlier. Oh, are you guys still getting ads? Okay, look, I got them paused. I swear, I clicked on the pause button here. People are telling me you guys are getting too much of those. I'm not going to let YouTube do the ad stuff automatically anymore because they're just pumping it. Like I asked them to do it conservatively, and they're just spamming you guys. And I swear, every new video I watch on YouTube, it's like 2 ads per video. And I don't want to complain too much because I want to support. I like supporting the people I like watching as well. But they've just turned it up. That's ridiculous. They got to think about the user experience here a little bit. Because 2 ads per video on like a 10-minute video, it's ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. So, thank you. I got them paused. Let me click the pause button again. It only lets me pause it for 10 minutes. Was that Bruno Mars? Can't blame him. I understand. Hey, sometimes you're feeling yourself. Sometimes you're feeling yourself. Because they're cracking me up in the chat. What else are you saying in the chat before we move on here? Thank you, Sugar Pancake Face. What's up, everybody? I'm seeing y'all in the chat. It's a mess. You guys disagree with me? What do you guys think? You guys see the Irish fighting out there as a good thing? Incredible. You know, they keep attacking Elon Musk over this. Even on this free speech stuff over in Ireland, you know, Elon Musk says Ireland's Leo Varadkar hates Irish people. Elon Musk is getting in the mix of it. They're calling him anti-Semitic and all that. And the man just wants to keep things free, especially in the speech department, as much as he can. They're saying the billionaire tech mogul's comments came after the Taoiseach? That's incredible. What's the Irish have an interesting way of setting up their government. They have strange names for the whole thing. The Taoiseach? What the heck is this? How do you pronounce this? It's apparently the head of government in Ireland. They have the same way they call the police, they call them the Garda. The Irish don't call them the prime minister or the president. They call them... One moment.
We are looking at her name. and head. Do you go about
I'm watching a video on how to pronounce this. Hold on.
This
But
name?
this man does not want to pronounce the word. He wants to talk about everything but the word. And it's supposedly a pronunciation channel. I would think you'd get to that.
T-shirt.
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 Taoiseach. Amazing. So apparently that's what you call the head of the country in Ireland, the Taoiseach. And the Taoiseach is revealing this new legislation to crack down on hate speech. In response to this, Elon Musk says he hates Irish people. Right on, Elon Musk. Speaking of X.com, though, talking about Elon Musk's platform, X.com, if you haven't been on X.com lately, there's this function called Community Notes. And basically, you have a team of X.com users. They are, I believe, made up of the users of the platform who have been given the responsibility of adding context to certain posts on the platform. Sometimes the Community Notes swoops in when there's an outright lie stated in a X.com post, and they'll add their little note beneath the post to add some context and correct the lie or correct a misconception, or if something's just unclear, to bring some context. And the Community Notes in general has been an interesting function. I think it's pretty interesting. A lot of interesting moments have happened where politicians or this or that person got Community Notes and they got in real time corrected. It's been interesting. It's kind of cool. Kevin McCarthy was one of these people. Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House. Whatever did happen with all that? Is the government shutting down? It doesn't really matter, huh? These people are going to do whatever they want. Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House, after that saga with Matt Gaetz and the ousting of the Speaker, because he wasn't working for the people, in my opinion, posted on X.com a video of him talking with this caption. Think for one moment, it reads. In every single war that America has fought, we have never asked for land afterward, except for enough to bury the Americans who gave the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. Let's watch the video he posted, and the Community Notes swooped in to correct, add some context here. But here's Kevin McCarthy talking about such a flowery, and such a passionate way for America. See, America, very moral nation. They've never asked for land, except to bury the men, the brave men they sacrificed for freedom.
Peace without freedom is meaningless. Think for one moment. It is human nature.
Preach up.
That we all crave peace, but we never attain it unless we have freedom.
Amen, Lord.
In every single war that America has fought, we have never asked for land afterwards, except for enough to bury the Americans who gave the ultimate sacrifice for that freedom we went in for. Welcome.
Hallelujah, preacher.
But the basis of their definition is wrong. Intervention is not just military. You see, I believe the greatest strength of America is not the aircraft carriers, is not the precision weapons. America is more than a country. America is an idea.
Kevin McCarthy, so passionate. Did he learn that from a black preacher? Or maybe he just learned that from being a politician? See, I believe you got that pause. You got to hit that right. You got to respect it. You got to respect the move here. See, we're talking about America. See, I believe America. That dramatic pause with that strong entrance. Hey, it's a tried and true method here. Tried and true work here. Should have added a little soaking music, if you ask me. Just a little tip there, Kevin McCarthy, if you really want to pull at the heartstrings of people. Talking about America as an idea, the true strength of, and ergo, if you follow his logic, the true strength of America is in the mind. See, America is all up here, and that's where the true strength is. Not the nuclear bombs, not the cruise missiles and U.S. carriers that dominate the seas that America uses to pressure other countries. I mean, just saying. Look, it's funny that he didn't say the people, though. Kevin McCarthy left something out about the true strength of America being the people. But okay, he's talking about interesting things here. Intervening in the world, really, is what he's essentially talking about. And what's funny is he got community notes. He got corrected on this. He's being all moral, like, we're intervening in the world, but we only ever do that because it's moral and it's a good thing. Here's the community notes. It reads, it actually gives the community notes here corrected Kevin McCarthy here, telling him, actually, there was multiple times America got land out of a conflict and the whole thing was about land. In fact, one of the examples here was 1848, Mexico and the United States, the Guadalupe Hidalgo Treaty. In fact, they give other examples as well. Because the whole thing is land. That's all these fights have been. That's how history goes. In fact, the Americans felt so shafted from World War I. They felt they sacrificed so much and got so little out of it, that they took their sweet time to arrive for World War II. In fact, I mean, if you read the Truman Doctrine on the whole thing, on intervening in the world, in fact, speaking of intervention, Truman Doctrine, his grand speech to the world on interventionism, his whole reasoning was, well, we got to intervene and control the world because we can't just let 2/3 of the world become communist. That was the reasoning. But Truman, in his speech, he talks about pulling Britain's chestnuts out of the fire. He's actually referencing when that phrase was originally used, which was during World War II, and how America took their sweet time. Because like I said, they felt shafted out of World War I. Many countries did, in fact. Many countries saw that. Many countries, the Italians and the French, they thought they too got shafted from the whole deal. Wait, we sacrificed so many people only for Britain to get all this land and all this stuff? Where's all our stuff? That's literally what happened. They were mad they didn't get their stuff. And hey, to be fair, they sacrificed a lot, okay? They sacrificed their people, their true strength of their nations. So they felt like they deserved more. That's how it goes. But that's where that phrase comes from. To pull Britain's chestnuts out of the fire. Well, America during World War II, they said as much. They said, well, we're not going to be that quick to pull Britain's chestnuts out of the fire this time. We're going to wait to leverage that. You might think, well, that's what America was, right? They were the heroes, and they came in out of the goodness of their heart to save the world. It's not that. Not exactly. Not quite. I mean, there were many who saw it that way, but also many who didn't. Kind of actually goes back to what I was saying. Ireland, the white people. You don't just deserve these things. The corruption has been from within as well. Turning away from Christianity. Look at your families. It's really been a civil war since World War I, and it hasn't stopped. Someone called it the greatest insanity of the white races, these world wars. They're really the civil war of all the white races. And this specter that white people have to face, and they have not faced. And it's somewhere along the ballpark of anger, has to do with Christianity, has to do with their own mothers and their own lives. And the evidence of it is the fear in dealing with, for example, black people. These are just examples, but this specter is there. This irreligious specter. Anyways. But that's how it goes. Kevin McCarthy getting community notes. Incredible stuff, don't you think? Amazing stuff, don't you think? Incredible. Enjoying the show so far? Appreciate all the support, guys. Really do. We got some more here. I want to get into some things here with a little bit of Chauvin and this preacher in Glendale. You hear about this? Just like Bertie Bound Brian in the chat says, everybody's evil is showing, and it really is big time, like on display. You heard on the Hake Report about Chauvin stabbing, Derek Chauvin stabbed in prison. Political prisoner, in my opinion. I agree with Mark on that one. A political prisoner, really. And the only reason, I'm not going to get into the details too much. You can watch the Hake Report for that. Great show today. TheHakeReport.com. Live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. But yeah, the only reason his appeal was denied, it wasn't even looked at by the Supreme Court, was fear. Fear, fear, fear. They saw those riots in 2020, and it's been fear ever since. And they're just people with fear, as many people are in the country, okay? I read something about Derek Chauvin's lawyers arguing that he should not be in Gen Pop, general population, where he's open to these stabbings. Here's the proof. Guess his lawyers were right, huh? I guess his lawyers were right. But people are angry and crazy. Arizona church leader shot this street preacher. You've probably heard about this. It's kind of a story that's a couple days old now, a week plus old, but I saw a headline about it when I was collecting some news that day. Flashed by my screen, didn't hear about it ever since. Heard some inklings about it on Twitter, x.com. But no, not TV, not national news, not media, no news, legacy media, no. There was a man, 26-year-old man, Hans Schmidt, an Arizona church leader who was in the streets of Glendale in Arizona preaching. And you may think about that whatever you will, but he wasn't looting. He wasn't hurting anyone. He was at best waking people up, and at worst an absolute nuisance, just a nuisance, a Christian nuisance on the streets. If we can even call it a nuisance, okay? He's just like a Christian guy, okay? He's a street preacher. What's the big deal? So he's not looting. He's not being a homeless person. He's not committing crimes. He was preaching. And he was shot. He was shot, critical condition, shot while preaching on the street. I didn't hear about this, did you? Not like significantly. Hans Schmidt, 26, shot in the head while promoting a church service in Glendale. That's what he was doing. He was promoting a church service. Initially thought to be a result of an assault, but medical staff then realized it was a gunshot wound. Witnesses at the scene describe an altercation where there was yelling and swearing. So something went down. Someone just drove up and shot the man. It's a little news report on the situation.
A lot of prayers are pouring in for Hans Schmidt tonight. The beloved husband, father, and religious leader was shot while spreading the word of God Wednesday night, and friends and family can't understand why.
Who knows why someone would take it out on a preacher like that, because he's speaking the gospel and the good news to everybody. He's out to help the community.
Arizona's family has learned that Schmidt was out street preaching at the intersection of 50.
Used name in the chat says, look at his wife. Are you talking about this very Christian interracial marriage?
While spreading the word of...
You think that's something strange going on? What? Used name? You got a problem with this? What? You got a problem with it? You're looking at used name? Huh?
The gospel and the good news to everybody.
Filipino, maybe? She's maybe Filipino.
Arizona's family has learned that Schmidt was out street preaching at the intersection of 51st Avenue and Peoria in Glendale around 6 o'clock Wednesday night. It's something he reportedly did on a regular basis before helping lead weekly services at the Victory Chapel as the door director. At some point while Schmidt was on the corner preaching, someone came by, shot him in the head, then took off.
Read verses, preach a little bit. And
Paul Sanchez works nearby and says when Schmidt was out preaching, some people drove by screaming and cursing at him.
a slurry of everything, really. I mean, hateful comments, people yelling at him, just get off the street, all sorts of mean things.
Sanchez never imagined things would escalate, especially since he says Schmidt never confronted anyone or responded to the mean comments.
Just before service, yeah.
Larry Detman was at services here last night when the pastor announced what happened. Minutes later, the pastor ran off to the hospital to check on Schmidt.
Out of nowhere, how does this happen? You know, there's some evil people in this world that got a bunch of human junk in their life, and they take it out on somebody else. So people are following darkness instead of light, asking God to help them and heal them.
He followed darkness. His wife. That's what he calls her. That's her nickname. Hey, darkness. And she calls him, hey, lightness. Hey, honey. What's up, darkness? Hola, hola, whiteness. Hey, baby. Hey, darkness. How are you? He's following darkness. Darker than him.
By or if somebody...
That's what am I saying? Maybe he wasn't following her. Who's to say? Maybe he's the head of his wife. What am I saying here?
They walked up, shot him, then ran off. So far, no arrests have been made. As for the street preacher's condition, Glendale police have not provided any updates. As soon as we learn anything new, we'll let you know. In the West Valley, Jason Berry for Arizona's Family.
Wow, incredible. I mean, absolute anger and insanity in the streets. They're shooting the street preachers. It's crazy. But yeah, they literally shot him in the head. It's crazy. Wild. Arizona church leader, desperate need of a miracle. They say they're raising money. Organizer of the GoFundMe. They're collecting, to help his medical expenses. Wow. They don't know. Then it's not clear who did it, too. Then it doesn't seem like they have a suspect. Organizer said no one heard the gunshot or saw where it came from. Anyone who might have information about the shooting can contact the Glendale Police Department, 623-930-3000. Wow. Well, I don't think he's dead. I believe he's in critical condition. Anyways. Definitely prayers for the persecuted, prayers for those hurt. And yeah. That was cold, Nikki. Wait, what? What was cold? I'm just saying jokes. I probably didn't mean anything. What are you saying? Everything is fake. What did I say that's too far? That was cold, Nikki. Is it the follow in darkness? Look, I'm just using what's presented, okay? Stuff comes and I just recombinate it into a joke. That's all I'm doing. He followed the darkness too. But I just mean that she's darker than him, like darker skinned. And who's to say he's following? Maybe he's the head of his wife. He's being nice now. You guys know me. I don't care about interracial marriages. It's quite interesting what Jesse says about that. You probably doing that because you hate you hate your parents. You hate where you came from. That makes a lot of sense. But essentially, I don't really care. There's nothing funny about this. Yeah, maybe it's too soon for jokes, Zenny. You are correct about that. Yeah, I'm kind of a flippant, facetious type person here. I don't quite show the correct. It's an immaturity of mine. I can admit that. Folks, I got one more thing here for you before we go. What is it that I wanted to show you? Oh, yeah. Look at what AI is doing. I just came across this video. And I was telling you guys about dead internet theory over the weekend. And how it's everything on the internet's pretty much dead. It's made by bots, and now it's made by AI. It's targeted. It's not about informing. It's about changing minds and agendas. It's about money and clicks. And now with AI, it's like everything's even emptier. There's theories that say that 80% of your interactions online are fake. That you're most likely talking to a bot and not a real individual. They say 80%, this is a conspiracy theory, but they say that 80% of your interactions online, on social media in general, they're just bots. They're not real people. 80% of the content you consume is just AI or made by, with an agenda, made by robots. And I came across this little video. It's like a 3D animation of like Vietnamese, like the traps the Viet Cong used against the American commandos. Because they had all kinds of nasty traps out there. And they would like cover spikes that were hidden by vegetation and whatever, so that American commandos would fall in pits to get skewered by essentially spikes that were covered in feces so that they could get infections. So I came across this random video here. And I'm like watching this and I'm trying to get informed here. And I'm like, did AI make this video? Is this AI content? Is this the future? Is this our world now?
Invented the trap was a genius. It's been a real pain in the ass for our soldiers. The Vietnamese invented pedal traps, which was specifically designed to deal with our troops' steel-toed shoes. Once our soldiers stepped into it, dozens of bamboo sticks were inserted directly into the calf, making our soldiers suffer a lot. But even more vicious is the canned grenade. 2 grenades are stuffed into an empty can.
Like, if you watch this too quickly without paying attention, you'd be like, oh, wow, that's crazy, Vietnam. But watching this again with, wait a second. Is this AI content? And I'm just sitting here going, ooh, eating it up. Like, oh, no way, Vietnam.
The grenades are pulled by a half wire in the middle. If a soldier passes by at that moment...
The grenades are pulled by half wire in the middle. Is that English? The grenades are pulled by half... Okay,
if they touch the tripwire, they'd be wiped out. But there's nothing more sinister than a crossbow trap. If one of our soldiers touches the tripwire, the locking mechanism connected to the tripwire is instantly released.
Why is he dancing?
Feces-soaked arrow shoots directly at the American soldier. Jesus wouldn't be able to save him.
Jesus wouldn't be able to save him. Jesus wouldn't be able to save him. Feces covered arrow. Feces covered arrow. Jesus wouldn't be able to save him. It's all in the same cadence. Even the jokes are said in the same cadence. And this man is dancing.
The American soldier. Jesus wouldn't be able to save him. There's also the mind-boggling bamboo trap. If an ungrateful soldier passes by at that moment, the bamboo rafts will fall from the sky. We'll randomly select a few lucky people.
This is totally AI generated.
The Vietnamese would not let go of the poisonous snakes. They would throw them into the traps they had dug. The guys who fall in will get a big surprise.
The guys who fall in will get big surprise. This is Chinese. Everything is fake. This is
bamboo
Chinese.
Trap. If an ungrateful soldier passes by at that moment, the bamboo rafts will fall from the sky. We'll randomly select a few lucky people. The deaths were horrific. Even the Vietnamese would not let go of the poisonous snakes. They would throw them into the traps they had dug. The guys who fall in will get a big surprise. The vipers were thrilled to see their prey at their doorstep.
Okay, this our soft mush minds. Is this working on people? What the? This is AI content. This isn't real. It's something empty about it. I learned a little something.
The trap was a genius.
Something messed up about it, and something I don't like it. Smells like home. Smells like Vietnamese people. Smells like home. Smells like Jiao Lua. Shout out, shout out tunnel rats who are smelling. Shout out all the tunnel rats. Are there any tunnel rats still around? Those tunnel rats who once smelled the Vietnamese in combat. It's a fact. Look it up. Smells like got in your home. All right, folks, that's the show. I got nothing else to say to you. No point in sitting here. I appreciate all the calls and the super chats. Coming back tomorrow, Tuesday, for more American Anchor Baby. Don't miss it at 12. And, of course, Joel Friday on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. The Hake Report, as always. And, of course, the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Country Western Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the show today. I will see y'all tomorrow. Is that everything? Hold on. I know, man, a snake pit. You seen that? We got snake pits in Vietnam. Wow. I almost missed these super chats, and I want to thank you. Matthew, let's bring back dueling, says Matthew. I'm game. A duel for honor, sir? Harmony with the super chat says, I figured it out. You look like Edgar Allan Poe. Nice. I want the funniest thing about this little mustache thing going on. The reason I like it, why I find it so funny, I don't even think it particularly looks good. I like it though. It looks hilarious because I don't look like myself. I look like a different person. I look like I could be a different person. Especially if you saw me in person. Oh, Edgar Allan Poe. Was Edgar Allan Poe a little emo? Was he a little emo? Was he cool? Was he about it? Was he like, or is there something messed up about this guy? I'm gonna ask Sean. I feel like Sean might know. All right, folks, that's the show. I do appreciate it. One more goodbye, huh? For good measure. Take care, folks. Peace, and see y'all tomorrow. Oh, we still got Lil Nick. Hey, bye.